When it comes to types of entertainment, video games are slightly different than books or movies. Whereas books or movies are usually considered to be one-time experiences, video games have many different methods to incentivize players to continue playing the game even after the story is complete. The game may have a replayable story, engaging gameplay, a mix of the two, or maybe something else entirely. But merely playing a video game is not the only way to enjoy it. Many people impose challenges on themselves while playing some of their favorite games. These challenges might include speedrunning the game, trying to complete something in the game under specific limitations, or aiming to achieve the highest possible score. I like to bring to attention the last of those that I just mentioned, high scores. They are usually used in shorter games to encourage players to master the mechanics present within the game to achieve as high a score as possible. While this mechanic is usually present in arcade games, the game I would like to focus on for this video is Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy has an interesting way of utilizing this high score mechanic. Since there's no point system in the game, Super Mario Galaxy instead tracks how many coins you collected within a specific mission. Dying during the mission causes the coin counter to reset to 0, meaning that the best coin scores in the missions are achieved by not dying. The game tracks these high scores in two different ways. The first is on a per galaxy basis. The game actually has a list showing all of the galaxies, and this list also shows the maximum number of coins that the player has collected in each galaxy. This total only refers to the individual mission where the player has collected the most coins, rather than a cumulative total. The second is on a per mission basis. While on the mission select after selecting a galaxy, pointing the cursor at a star will show the mission's coin score on the bottom right corner of the screen. This means if you're a high score hunter, you'll have a whopping 121 missions to get the maximum number of coins in. That's a tall order, but there are several missions in the game that don't even have a single coin in them, and several more that are incredibly easy. However, there are a notable number of missions that feature difficult tricks that require a lot of practice to get right. There are all sorts of missions in this game, and likewise a wide variety of difficulty when trying to get every coin. By the way, if it wasn't incredibly obvious already, this video will be spoiling the entirety of Super Mario Galaxy, so if you still want to experience the game for yourself, then do so before watching this video. With the stage now set, it's time to delve into Super Mario Galaxy's Max Coin Challenge. Before we start looking into missions specifically, a few things will need to be noted first. For one, the per mission coin scores will be the focus of the video. The name of the galaxy containing the mission and the mission's name itself will be displayed on the top of the screen. Each time a mission also contains the most number of coins possible in the galaxy, the mission's name will also have a star next to it. The bottom left corner will show the maximum number of coins obtainable. This number is based on the currently existing knowledge of the game and could potentially change if new strategies are discovered. Several missions in this game also have additional coins to be collected if the two-player co-star mode is used. These missions will have a number of coins possible written in orange next to the standard coin total. The bottom right corner will show an arbitrarily determined difficulty rating for each max coin challenge, based solely on personal experience. For example, a 1 out of 10 means that the challenge is so easy you may have already done it while playing the game casually. A 4 out of 10 means that a deliberate effort must be made to get every coin. A 7 out of 10 means that difficult tricks requiring a decent understanding of the game are required. And a 10 out of 10 is reserved for the missions that only the most dedicated of coin hunters should dare attempt. Finally, the missions will be covered in the order that you discover their galaxies in for simplicity, with the exception of Gateway Galaxy, since at the start of the game there is a bit of backtracking related to Prankster Comets and the hidden Luigi stars. And with all that said, it's finally time to look at each of these missions. The first mission is Grand Star Rescue, which serves as the game's tutorial. There is another star that can be collected in this galaxy, but it can't be accessed until near the end of the game, so it will be covered later. As soon as we start, we immediately get introduced to the first main mechanic of the Max Coin Challenge. You cannot return to planets after leaving them, with rare exceptions. This means if you accidentally miss a coin and then leave the planet, you'll be locked out of the max coins unless you start over. Most of the coins in this mission are attained by defeating Goombas by jumping on them. This introduces another recurring mechanic. All enemies must be defeated in a manner that makes them drop a coin. For instance, Goombas give 3 starbits instead of a coin if they are not defeated with a jump. This usually doesn't pose that much of a problem. but there are a few enemies that will require a significant amount of effort to get their coins. Careful searching of each planet in this mission allows us to easily collect all 46 coins. Now that we have access to the Comet Observatory, our first destination is Good Egg Galaxy. The first mission, Dino Piranha, serves as a good tutorial for the Max Coin Challenge. There are several coins to collect, with a fair number of them coming from enemies, but there's nothing too fancy happening here. Something new to be aware of is that you can also get coins by shooting a starbit at certain budding plants. There are 2 of these plants on the Dino Piranha planet, and they give 1 coin each. The only thing to note in a snack of cosmic proportions is that when on the capsule planet, once you go into the interior of the planet, it is just like using a launch star and being unable to access previous areas, so make sure you scour the capsule planet's exterior before going inside. Once again, pretty simple. With both of those missions being so easy, you may have been lulled into a sense of security regarding the difficulty of these challenges. If so, then that sense of security gets utterly destroyed in the next mission, King Caliente's Battle Fleet. Most of the mission isn't incredibly noteworthy. The spiky plants, yes that's their actual name, can be defeated by spinning coconuts into them, and a vast majority of them contain a coin. Getting all these coins is a tad tedious, but totally doable. Then there's the Battle Station planet on the second half of the mission. There are a few coins floating around, but once again nothing too difficult as long as you know where all the coins are. The actual reason this mission is so difficult is because of the King Caliente boss fight. After he's been hit 2 times, he regularly spawns 6 different lava bubbles. When a lava bubble is shot with a starbit, it drops a coin, and this can be done twice per lava bubble, meaning that the enemies in this fight can drop a total of 12 coins. There are several reasons why this is difficult. For one, if the lava bubble is shot while above the lava, then the coin that spawns in will fall into the lava and be instantly unobtainable, thus ruining the Max Coin Challenge. Secondly, while starbits will normally home onto enemies, if your aim is slightly off, that homing effect is severely reduced when firing starbits at lava bubbles, making them far more difficult to shoot than normal. Thirdly, you need to keep track of which lava bubbles you've already shot twice, so that you don't waste your starbits on a lava bubble that already gave both of its coins. Thankfully, there's a consistent rule as to how the lava bubbles get spawned. When King Caliente splashes the lava to spawn the lava bubbles, they always appear in a ring around him relative to the direction he is facing. A particular lava bubble will always spawn in the same relative position, meaning that you can track which lava bubbles you have gotten both coins from. And finally, you only have a limited number of starbits. If you miss the lava bubbles too many times, then it's all for nothing. You can combat this by collecting as many starbits as possible during the mission itself, or you can collect a bunch of starbits on the first planet and then purposefully die and respawn on the first planet. Dying and respawning resets your coin count, but not your starbit count, so you can farm starbits on the first planet in this manner if you need to. However, if you understand how the lava bubbles work and have a decent aim, then you should be able to get every coin in this battle just by using the starbits found within this standard mission. Truly, a rude awakening to Super Mario Galaxy's Max Coin Challenge. Thankfully, the remaining missions in Good Egg Galaxy are far easier. Dino Piranha Speedrun is identical to the original Dino Piranha mission, except this mission has a time limit. Luckily, the time limit is decently generous, and you should be able to finish with well over 10 seconds left while getting every single coin. Purple Coin Omelet is one of the most pathetic Max Coin challenges in this entire game because there is literally 1 coin to collect, and it's sitting out in the open. It's hardly a challenge, and it's only worth mentioning because it's the only mission in the game that has a max coin count of 1. Luigi on a roof is just an easier version of Dino Piranha. Just get all 12 coins in the first planet and then talk to Luigi. Super easy! Unlike the other 2 Luigi missions. With our first galaxy complete, it's time to move on to the other primary galaxy within the terrace, the Honeyhive Galaxy. Unfortunately, just like in Good Egg, there are some surprisingly difficult max coin missions in this galaxy as well. One of those missions is the very first one, Be Mario Takes Flight. Normally exploring the planets and collecting every coin will net you 79 coins total, which is 5 short as the max possible for this mission. Why is that? Well, there are these pillar-like planets that float above the main Honeyhive Kingdom that are loaded during this mission. They're normally only used during the Trouble on the Tower mission, where a launch star takes you to them. Interestingly though, one of these pillar planets has 5 piranha plants on it, and these piranha plants are loaded even during the first mission. Therefore, if you could make it to these pillar planets, you could get an additional 5 coins from these piranha plants. The tricky part is making it to these planets, as the developers never intended you to access them during this mission. And when developers don't intend for you to do something, but you still want to do it, it means it's time to break out the glitches! Now let's see what we got. Mario can do a crouching spin kick by crouching and doing a spin while moving. If Mario does this crouching spin kick while on top of the lily pad and he hits the edge of the lily pad will bump slightly due to Mario hitting it. Due to an error in the lily pad's programming, its position doesn't go back to what it started as after the crouching spin kick, and instead it comes to a rest slightly above where it started. Thus, the lily pad has gained a small increment of height. You can repeat this glitch as many times as you want, and eventually climb very high into space, far enough to eventually jump onto the pillar planets from above. What? That's crazy! There's 3 things to note about this glitch though. For one, at varying heights, the lily pad's hit detection can randomly turn off, meaning that you would just fall straight through the lily pad and lose all your progress. There is one lily pad just under the launch star on the second planet that is far less likely to do that, so it is your best candidate for this technique. Second, due to the horizontal distance between the lily pad and the pillar planets, being Mario will be required to traverse that extra horizontal distance. Technically, you can make the jump with just Mario, but you'd have to ascend on the lily pad for longer. Lastly, if you decide to use this lily pad, you will have to get past the floating flower above it. Being Mario can't get past the flower because when the lily pad gets too close, he pops onto the flower and can't stay on the lily pad. To get past the flower, you need to play as normal Mario. Kick the lily pad until it gets past the flower, then get a bee mushroom and come back. After all of that is done, you can start ascending on the lily pad. As you likely may have guessed at this point, this ascension process is going to take a while. How long specifically? Well, it depends on the speed of your crouching spin kicks, but it will take a minimum of an entire hour, usually longer. After you've gained enough height, you then have to take a massive leap of faith and hope you gained enough height. If not, too bad, you just lost all that progress. If you made it through, then you can defeat the 5 piranha plants, get their coins, then fall down to where the star is, no problem. Trust me when I say that this isn't the last time we'll see the use of glitches to increase the number of coins obtained in a mission. The next mission is Trouble on the Tower, but honestly that name fits far better with the previous mission. The 37 coins found here are far easier to get since the game intends for you to reach these pillar planets this time. The final standard mission in Honeyhive is Big Bad Bugaboom, and you may be thinking that this mission would be similar to Beam Mario Takes Flight, since the game doesn't intend for you to reach the pillar planets. Your initial thinking would be correct, however there are no lily pads in this level that let us reach the pillar planets. The only accessible lily pad is under a large tree that prevents the lily pad, and by extension Mario, from reaching the necessary height. Therefore, thankfully this mission is quite simple. The only thing of note here is that one of the starbit flowers on the Bugaboom planet is somewhat well hidden. That's it. Moving on to the Comet missions, we encounter our first Cosmic Comet mission, Honeyhive Cosmic Mario Race. These missions provide an interesting challenge because we now have a time limit. If Cosmic Mario beats us a star, it doesn't matter how many coins we have because Mario commits die if he loses. In this mission, we can't leave the starting area without triggering the start of the race, so any coins collected must occur after the race is underway. By getting the boost from the start of the race and optimally moving around the level, you can collect 8 coins and just barely beat Cosmic Mario. I'm serious, you almost have no room for error if you want to get all 8 coins. The first 7 coins are relatively simple to get, although you can't waste any time while getting them. The hardest part is getting the 8th coin while also winning the race. That coin is inside the Starbit Flower at the top of the main planet, which is a major detour from the race course. The only way to get there fast enough is to climb this side of the cliff by performing some strange wall jumps. When wall jumping off this tree, you must not hold any direction on the control stick so that Mario will actually face away from the tree when he jumps. He needs to be facing away from the tree so that once you get on the tree, you can perform a glitch known as slope climbing. This trick will be explained later. After backing up to get enough sliding speed, you can slide down the treetop and get enough speed and height to reach a small ledge, allowing you to reach the flower. After you get the coin though, you still have to win the race. Run back to that small ledge from before, then long jump to a bit to the left of the tree itself. Once the camera finishes rotating, do a homing ground pat by spinning and crouching at the same time. This lets Mario fall down much faster and get within striking distance of Cosmic Mario. The rest of the race can be run like normal, if at this point you can call it a normal race. The Honeyhive's purple coins poses no additional challenge when going for max coins. Since you naturally have to explore the level anyway to find all the purple coins, it's very likely that you'll find all 11 of the normal gold coins as well. And finally, we have Luigi in the Honeyhive Kingdom. Remember me mentioning that the other Luigi missions were far more difficult for max coins than the first one? Well, this mission is one reason why. It takes place during Mario Takes Flight, and since you still have to get Luigi even after gone to every planet and getting every coin, that means the maximum coins for this mission is identical to the first mission. And that means we get to do the leap hat trick again, huzzah! With Honeyhive finally done, we only have the one-off galaxies within the terrace left to go. Loopdeeloop Galaxy has a fair number of coins at 50, but all these coins are sitting on the water surface just waiting to be picked up. Even if you know how to race surf, you will need to listen to the tutorial and get the 30 coins at the start. The other 20 coins are scattered on the racetrack. It's possible that the manta ray will bob above or below the coins, so just go slowly to make sure you don't miss them. If for some reason you do miss a coin, you can simply make a U-turn and try again. Flipswitch Galaxy is an interesting one. On the way into the galaxy, you pass by a total of 49 brick blocks haphazardly scattered all over the place. Each of these brick blocks contains a coin, so if you were somehow able to access these blocks, then you could get an additional 49 coins in this mission. However, there is no current way to access these blocks without hacking the game, so their coins remain unclaimed. With that addressed, there are only 2 coins on the main planet itself, meaning that this max coin challenge is laughably easy. For now. Bowser Jr.'s robot reactor doesn't have many coins to collect at just 17, but the first few coins can be a tad tricky. To get the coins from the Astro Goombas, you first have to spin into them and then jump on their exposed bellies. The problem is that they travel a fair bit when spun into, and there are plenty of holes in the planet that lead to a black hole in the center. A misplaced spin will knock an Astro Goomba into the black hole and prevent you from getting the coin. Thankfully, this is the very first part of the mission, so a retry doesn't lose you too much progress, and the rest of the level is smooth. The final galaxy in the terrace is the Sweet Sweet Galaxy, accessed via the Hungry Luma outside the dome. The only 10 coins in the level are right on the main path and can be easily collected. It's quite nice to have such an easy mission after some of the other ones in the terrace. With the terrace completed, it's time to move on to the Fountain Galaxies. Our first stop is the Space Junk Galaxy with Pulsar Path. Despite there being many Pulsars within this mission, there isn't a use for them to get any extra coins, so the total amount caps at 27. Nothing else to see here. Camilla's airship attack, on the other hand, is one of the more interesting max coin challenges because it features a very large sequence break. Position Mario at the back edge of the second airship just next to the leftmost Bowser flag. Do a long jump aimed up left of the airship into space, holding upwards and left as you do so. After Mario falls for a few seconds, the camera rotates strangely, which is when you should hold up and slightly right, then spin. If you've done it correctly, then you'll barely reach the pull stars in the previous mission. After getting these 3 coins, launch yourself using this pull star, spin, and then hold down. This will catapult Mario to the other section of the previous mission. The 20 coins that can be collected here are either sitting out in the open or are gone from the spoilings. Once you have these coins though, you'll have to make it back to the airships. You'll have to perform a very good triple jump off a small rod in the corner of the planet, and then a spin must be done at the apex of the jump. If you got enough height, then the gravity of the star streams will latch onto Mario and pull you back to the original start of the mission, somehow. One trick for getting extra height is to hold the jump button while doing the triple jump. Another trick is that if you're playing on the Wii version, shake the Wii remote multiple times after the initial spin to get a bit of extra height. If you're playing on the 3D All-Stars version, simply hold the spin button. Thankfully, there's no penalty for messing up the jump, so you can try as many times as you need to. There's also a few things to mention for the airship section. Spinning into the airship cabin door spawns a coin for some reason. There's 3 of these doors, 2 on the first airship, and 1 inside the hidden Starbit cargo hold. Additionally, this mission marks the first appearance of a question mark block that can spawn up to 10 coins. If the block is not hit an additional 9 times after the first hit, then the block despawns before all 10 coins have been collected. The general method for collecting all 10 coins from these blocks is the same in every mission. Position Mario below the block, jump to hit the block, then just before Mario would land on the ground, press and hold the jump button until he actually jumps again. This is known as buffering your button inputs. By doing this, Mario is being told by the game to jump at the first possible instant. You can chain these buffered jumps over and over until you get to 10 jumps. Jump buffering is generally the most reliable method, but there are others, such as just mashing the jump button. After defeating Camilla and getting all the coins on her airship, you can finish this mission with an astounding 60 coins. Terran Tox's Tangle Web is the last of the standard missions, and just like Camilla's airship attack, it's possible to go out of bounds and reach part of the level used for the Polestar Path mission, allowing for an extra 20 coins to be collected. The setup for this out of bounds track is a bit different this time. Start Mario at this Polestar, grab the next Polestar, then immediately let go to let Mario drift toward the Polestar. Skip the next Polestar, then try to grab the next one as soon as possible so you get the most speed. This setup causes Mario to bounce off the L-shaped asteroid. Let go of this Polestar, and just as the next Polestar goes off screen, grab that one and sling Mario as far upwards as you can. You're aiming for the castle planets used on the first mission, although since the developers didn't intend for you to access these planets, their gravity is not active here. Instead, Mario will be pulled toward the prison planet at the start of the Polestar section. Therefore, these capsule planets act as platforms instead of planets. After jumping to the top left capsule planet, do a long jump aimed away from the screen. Once the camera turns upside down, grab the middle of these Polestar planets and you'll have access to the out of bounds area once again. After getting these 20 coins, this section can be exited just like last time with a well executed triple jump. The rest of this mission has nothing close to being this complicated. There's a few coins floating in space between the Sling Pods, and if you miss these coins after a launch, there's no way to go backwards, so be careful. Finally, in the boss fight, you can launch yourself into these rock platforms or simply ground pound into them to get 1 coin each. Polestar Path Speedrun is a bit interesting because there are a ton of extra coins that weren't there in the original mission in addition to the time limit. However, all these coins are right on the main path you'd be taking anyway, so there's no additional challenge here other than the time limit, which once again is somewhat generous. Purple Coin Spacewalk features no gold coins at all, nothing else to say. Yoshi's Unexpected Appearance is just a shorter version of Terran Tox's Tangled Web, and none of the Goombas on the Yoshi planet can give coins, so other than performing the same out of bounds trick to get the 20 extra coins like in the original mission, this mission is quite easy. Moving on from Space Junk, the Rolling Green Galaxy first introduces the ball rolling gimmick. If you're good with these levels, then getting all 76 coins here will not only be easy, but also fun. If not, then this level may pose a challenge for you. Otherwise though, there's not too much else to mention here considering that every coin is either in plain sight or is obtained from a Goomba. We have now arrived at one of the worst galaxies in the entire game for the Max Coin Challenge. Before I go into the specifics of the missions themselves, I need to explain the workings of how cannons in Super Mario Galaxy operate regarding coins. This information applies for all the cannons in the game, with one exception. If you shoot a cannonball with a star bit, then the cannonball explodes and drops a coin. Every cannon in the game, with one exception within Bowser Jr.'s Airship Armada, has the potential to drop 3 coins if the appropriate cannonballs are shot. These 3 coins all originate from a specific cannonball, similar to how the lava bubbles work from King Caliente's battle fleet. The game keeps track of unique cannonballs being shot from the cannons in sets of 3, which for simplicity can be referred to as cannonballs A, B, and C. Each of these cannonballs contains a coin, which are the 3 coins that each cannon can potentially give you. The way the cannon decides which cannonball to fire is not immediately obvious, however. If no cannonballs are active, then the cannon will choose to fire the cannonball with the highest priority, and this priority goes from A to B to C. Additionally, if one cannon has shot multiple cannonballs that are all active at the same time, then they will never be the same cannonball type. Basically, you'll never have 2A, 2B, or 2C cannonballs active at the same time. Using this knowledge, you can deduce which cannonballs you've received coins from and which ones you're still missing. This process must be done for every single cannon. Additionally, under some circumstances, the cannon can only fire the A and B cannonballs, but I'll mention where those circumstances are. This phenomenon is actually why CoStar can be used to get some extra coins, because the CoStar pointer can stop cannonballs from going off screen, meaning that the cannon could then spawn the C cannonball that would normally not be possible to obtain. Now with the cannon part explained, we can go into the actual mission itself, except there's a huge problem. There are a ton of cannons in this mission, and the only time you have access to them is when a moving platform crosses paths with the cannons. That's hardly enough time to get all the coins possible. Is that where the mission ends then? We just have to maximize how many coins we get from the brief time that Saucer overlaps with the cannons? No, we don't. and that's why this mission is so astronomically difficult. Through the use of 2 glitches, it's possible to linger near each of the cannons for long enough to collect their free coins and make it back to the main level. The first glitch is aptly named slope climbing, since, well, it lets you climb slopes. This is more of an exploit than a glitch technically, but that's besides the point. To perform the technique, have Mario slide down a slope, then jump while pushing the control stick in the direction Mario is sliding in. Just after jumping, hold the control stick in the direction you actually want to move, then spin at the apex of the jump. This combination of inputs will result in Mario moving backwards on the slope if you performed it well enough. This process can be done indefinitely as long as you don't mess up and the slope isn't too steep. The second glitch used in this mission is desyncing Mario from the moving saucer. To do this, wait until the end of the cannon dodging section where this yellow girder blocks the lower half of the saucer. Just as you get to it, backflip so that you're standing on top of the girder, then repeatedly ground pound. This ensures that you won't get caught by the saucer's gravity on accident. Once the saucer is far enough away, you'll break free of its gravity and start going straight down. The entire side of Battlerock is sloped, so you'll have to use the slope climbing trick to stay on the Battlerock surface while you shoot cannonballs and get their coins. There are a lot of things that can go wrong here. For one, if you shoot a cannonball too far away from the Battlerock's edge, then the coin will fall into space. You could accidentally slip off the Battlerock's edge if you don't know where the boundary is between the slope surface and the vertical drop into space. There are several electric fences you have to maneuver around, and due to the strange gravity, it's entirely possible that you can get stuck in the electric fence and die due to taking too much damage. The worst potential reason for failure is running out of star bits. Yeah, I haven't mentioned those at all. There's a ton of cannonballs to shoot in this mission, and you are going to miss. You'll need a very healthy stash before you can start an actual attempt to get max coins. There's a big problem though. Dying during the saucer and cannon section restarts Mario at the start of said section. However, there are coins present on the saucers you start on at the beginning of the level, meaning you can't farm for star bits in the saucer section for an attempt. You have to farm for star bits on those first few saucers, and if you get every single star bit there, there's a whopping 20 star bits for you to get, which is hardly enough for this challenge. 250 is about the minimum to aim for. Luckily, your star bit count doesn't reset upon dying, so that means you can die over and over on those first saucers while getting 20 star bits at a time. Oh, and that means you'll need a ton of lives so that you can die over and over again and not get a game over, because a game over does reset your star bit count. All of this grinding is needed to do one attempt. One attempt! You better hope you practice the slope climbing and the best way to shoot the cannonballs, because if not, you get to start all the way over. Every single one of the cannons in this mission can give the normal 3 coin limit, except for a single cannon below the saucer at the very start of the saucer ride, which only shoots fast enough to give you 2 coins. If you plan to do this particular mission, you may want to practice on purple coins on the Battlerock instead. The reasoning will be made clear once we get to that star. Persevere through the cannon onslaught and you'll have gotten a staggering 79 coins. After that absolute train wreck of a mission, breaking into the Battlerock is a lovely change of pace. There are several things to note here, but nothing comparable to the previous mission. Many of the coins in this level can be easily collected, but you have to go out of your way to collect them. There's the 3 coins above the second launch star, there's the 5 coins on the secret star planet, which would normally not be accessible since you wouldn't be able to return to your starting planet, but a warp pipe at the ammo depot allows you to return to the previous planet. Finally, there are 4 coins off to the sides of the first cannon section in the mission, hidden out of view. These coins are not difficult to get, but are easy to miss. Moving on to Top Maniac and the Top Man Tribe, this mission only features 2 coins that are particularly tricky. The first is a simple coin lamp that is very easy to miss due to it blending in with the ceiling of the room. If you know where it is though, it's easy to collect. The actually tough coin to collect is from the second defeated Top Man in the room just before you leave the Battlerock. The first Top Man in this room poses no trouble with getting its coin, but after defeating the second Top Man, a cutscene plays that shows a grate opening up. At the end of the cutscene, the gravity in the normal changes and causes Mario to start falling towards the launch star, but more importantly, the change in gravity causes the coin to essentially disappear. Thus, you only have the small window between defeating the second Top Man and the cutscene playing to get this particular coin, and since spinning into a Top Man pushes Mario backwards slightly, it's difficult to make it back to the Top Man to get the coin in the short time allotted. The best strategy to combat this is to spin the Top Man as far away from the electric fence as possible that still results in it reaching the electric fence. This way you have the most time to recover from the recoil of hitting the Top Man. You may want to practice this particular part before doing a full attempt, since this trick is near the end of the mission. Top Maniac's Daredevil run has no coins in it because it is a Daredevil mission, so there's nothing else to mention. Purple coins on the Battlerock uses the exact same slope climbing trick used in Battlerock Barrage. There are two main differences between the missions. The first is that the cannons fire more slowly in the purple coin mission variant, so each cannon only gives 2 coins instead of 3. The cannon that gave 2 coins in the original mission only gives 1 now. Therefore, there are 37 coins possible in this mission, with every single one of them coming from cannonballs. The other difference is that there's nothing else before the sausage section, meaning that you can farm starbits throughout the level instead of dying at the first section repeatedly and then having only 1 shot. This is why it's recommended that you practice the slope climbing on this mission, since the stakes aren't as high here. The only downside is that there aren't very many starbits in the mission in the first place, so getting a lot of starbits is still a slow process. At least there's a life mushroom and a 1-up mushroom to make things easier. The first of 2 secret stars in the Battlerock Galaxy is Battlerock's Garbage Dump. Thankfully, as long as you remember to get the 3 coins above the second launch star, this mission is incredibly easy to get every coin in. The hardest part is actually blowing up all the trash. The second of the 2 secret stars in the Battlerock Galaxy is... Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no. Why? Why? Yep, the Save Luigi mission takes place during Battlerock Barrage, meaning we get to do the same effing song and dance that we did for Battlerock Barrage for this mission too, including all the life and starbit farming. The only difference between the two is that you need to save Luigi instead of freeing the star. The number of coins you collect is identical. And now you see why the Save Luigi missions are terrible in the Max Coin Challenge, but thankfully this is the last one, and also the worst one. There are still many challenges to overcome, but now one of the worst Max Coin challenges is finished. With Battlerock Galaxy finally behind us, next galaxy is Hurry-Scurry. It has a single star and consists of merely 2 planets. The only coins are on the first planet in the form of a Goomba and a 10-coin question block. This 10-coin block is above a disappearing platform, so you may think that you must hit the block even faster than usual, but this particular question block isn't as far above the ground as normal question block. So you can actually hit this block much faster than normal, rendering this galaxy quite trivial. Next! Finally, we made it to the first mission where we fight Bowser, the Star Reactor. Looking at the mission itself, though, there's very little that stands in the way of max coin collection. The most unique part is that there are several coins on the planet where you can fight Bowser, so you must collect all those coins before finishing the fight. Quite the standard affair. The last galaxy in the Facet area is the Sling Pod galaxy, accessed by the Hungry Loomba outside. If this is anything like Sweet Sweet Galaxy from the Terrace, this ought to be a piece of cake. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. First of all, there's nearly no ground to stand on in this entire mission. Most of the time you'll be flying between Sling Pods or Pole Stars. The far bigger issue is that, unlike in Battlerock Galaxy where the cannonballs passed over solid ground for a time, these cannonballs travel purely above the vacuum of space. Once a coin despawns from a cannonball, if it hasn't been collected in the first second of its existence, it'll fall to its doom. Lovely. Even better is that due to Mario's limited movement options, he can only intersect with the coins at very specific points without also dying. The first cannon's cannonballs travel close enough to the Sling Pod that you can stretch Mario out to where the cannonballs are and have them collect the coin without launching him. Nearly every other cannon fires his cannonballs way too far away for this to work. Therefore, you have to aim and fire Mario toward the next Sling Pod just after you shot the cannonball to spawn the coin. There's a very small window of time to do this. If you mess up even once, you get to start over! Yay! This seems to be a running theme for these hard missions. If you manage to get all the coins from the first 3 cannons, you'll reach the Midway Point, which features 4 cannons in a row. I'll call this section Cannon Alley. Yes, you can get all 3 coins from each of these cannons. No, it's not easy. To start with, you can use the Pull Mario trick to get all 3 coins from the first cannon. Simple enough, but what about the other 3 cannons? Well, that's where the hardest part of this mission comes in. At first, you can only get 1 of these coins. Just line up any of the cannonballs with the center of Cannon Alley, shoot it, then launch Mario both quickly and precisely at the coin that appears. With that, you'll end up in the Pole Star Maze. You may think that you'd just be able to launch yourself backwards using the Sling Pod, but the developers made it so that the Sling Pod's launching power isn't strong enough to go all the way back. However, a recently discovered technique allows you to travel backwards through Cannon Alley, meaning that all 12 coins in this section are actually possible to get. Here's how you do it. Use the closest pull star to the cannon alley to draw Mario in. Spin to get out of the pull star's effects, then hold down left. Mario will start falling. Aim the cursor at the pull star, and just as the camera starts to change, grab the pull star and start pulling Mario back. A bit before he gets to the pull star, stop grabbing the pull star and allow Mario to drift past for as long as possible. Once the pull star's effects wear off, hold right on the control stick and aim for this mine here. Once Mario is below the mine, grab the same pull star again, then release the pull star when he gets close to launch him towards Cannon Alley. However, this alone won't give Mario enough velocity to reach the Sling Pod, so there's one more thing that needs to be done. When the cursor passes over Mario when he's under the pull star's effects or in a bubble, Mario will spin in the direction that the cursor is moved in. More importantly, when Mario exits the pull star's effects, he can move in any direction, but he'll move fastest in the direction opposite of the one he's facing. This extra speed when moving backwards is the key to get this trick to work. Just as the pull star's effects are about to wear off, move the cursor above Mario so that his back is facing the Sling Pod that you're aiming for. Then spin to break 3 of the pull star. Hold the control stick toward the Sling Pod and do one final spin. And if you got just enough height and speed, then you'll make it back. This takes a while before you get a feel for it, but once you know what to do, this trick is actually very consistent. The hardest part is getting all 12 coins from Cannon Alley now that it's possible to go backwards. If you got all the coins from the first cannons in Cannon Alley, then you can shoot those cannonballs at will so that they clear a path for the cannonballs after them. Once you get every coin in Cannon Alley, the rest of this level can be played like normal. Don't choke and you'll finish the mission with an astounding 31 coins. Now that we are finally done with the Fountain Galaxies, it's time to move on to the kitchen. Up first is Beach Bowl Galaxy's Sunken Treasure. This mission has you exploring the entirety of the main planet, including the beach, the ocean, and the upper cliff region. Assembling the launch star in the ocean takes you to the upper part of the planet, so all the coins here are easily accessible. The next mission in Beach Bowl, passing the swim test, doesn't naturally have access to the upper region of the main planet. But you can still reach this area if you perform a well-spaced triple jump off this palm tree, allowing access to the 5 coins at the top of the planet. The rest of the coins in this mission can be easily collected. The next mission in Beach Bowl, Secret of the Undersea Cavern, doesn't naturally have access to the upper region of the main planet, but you can still reach this area if you perform a well-spaced triple jump off this palm tree, allowing access to the 5 coins at the top of the... Wait, isn't this the same as... Fast Boats on the Cyclone Stone has no gold coins in the mission at all. Next! Beach Coming for Purple Coins has no gold coins in the Alright, who the heck wrote this? It's the same thing! Nate! This script is just copy and pasted! It's the exact same... You know what, let me just scan through this real quick to see if there's anything I should bother mentioning. Oh, okay, there is something new here. Wall jumping off waterfalls is the most involved max coin challenge in this galaxy, but in the grand scheme of the whole game, it's not that bad. Interestingly, this secret star can be accessed both from passing the swim test and the secret undersea cavern, so when selecting the mission to play, pick Secret of the Undersea Cavern, since there are more coins available on the main planet. There are 2 coins of note in this mission. The first is this coin floating above the water at the lowest level. For some reason, when you collect this coin, it counts as 2 coins in the coin counter. Maybe there are 2 coins perfectly layered on top of each other? Whatever the explanation is, it's consistent throughout all copies of the game, so it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. The other coin comes from this piranha plant, which is incredibly easy to miss due to it not being near the main path. In fact, why is it here at all? More mysteries, I guess. Otherwise, this mission is fairly standard for max coins. Moving on, we have now reached the Bubble Breeze Galaxy. This galaxy is notable in this challenge because it contains the most coins within a mission, 145. Does this mean that a lot of these coins are difficult to get? Nope, they're just floating in the level waiting to be picked up. If you're decent at controlling the bubble, then this mission is actually quite easy. Just don't rush and you'll do fine. The second of the primary galaxies in the kitchen, the Gusty Galaxy, is a step up in difficulty compared to Beach Bowl. In Luigi and the Haunted Mansion, most of the 79 coins can be easily collected as long as you know where they are. There are 3 easily missable coins. When you access the secret room, a single coin spawns in from the smashed flooring, but this coin falls back into the main room. You need to run back to get it before it despawns. The 2 other easily missable coins are from hidden boos in the final room. Flutter to the top of the bookcase as Boo Mario and they'll spawn in. I wonder who discovered this first, and how, because it's such a strange spot for enemies to spawn in. Other than the 0 gold coin missions, this is the easiest max coin challenge in this galaxy. Up next is a very spooky sprint. There aren't many coins to collect here, only 9. However, 3 of those coins require the use of a glitch, elevating the difficulty of this mission considerably. Normally the haunted mansion is closed off in this mission, but it's possible to get inside it anyway, and there are 3 crates with coins in them within the mansion walls. Accessing the mansion's interior is easier said than done though. The first part of this setup uses the 3rd pole star in the road leading to the mansion's entrance. The goal is to land on top of this floating bone off to the left side. Using techniques similar to that used in Sling Pod Galaxy, you need just enough momentum so that Mario can reach the top of the bone. Use Mario's shadow as a reference to gauge your distance. Once you are on top of the bone, be careful because it is very easy to start sliding off the bone, especially from the backside. From here, perform a long jump aimed a bit to the left of the side of the mansion. From this camera angle, it looks like you're just jumping into the abyss, but you're actually aiming for the ledge just outside the mansion's fireplace. The hardest part of this jump is that once you pass by the side of the mansion, the camera abruptly changes to show the backside of the mansion. This completely changes the direction that you need to hold on the control stick to aim for the ledge, which you should be able to see at this point. After the camera changes, that's when you should do a spin, and hope that your jump was good enough to reach the ledge. This jump is quite difficult, but with practice, you can get a good feel for how to do the jump. Now that you're on this ledge, climb into the fireplace to access the mansion's interior. Since the gate doesn't expect you to be in here, most of the objects are not loaded, and this includes the bulk of the floor's collision. Despite the floor looking solid, any floor not close to one of the mansion's walls is essentially not there, and annoyingly enough, 2 of the 3 crates with coins in them are floating above the fake floor. To get the coins for these crates, you need to approach the crates while near the wall, jump away from the wall to go under the crate and break it, then move backwards to make it back to the safe floor. Immediately after, jump out to reach the coin as it's falling, and spin to get to the safe floor again. Once you have gotten all 3 coins from the crates, carefully make your way back to the mansion's entrance, and upon doing so, the camera will swivel outside of the mansion to show you the launch star and pole star. Grabbing the pole star will clip you outside of the mansion and allow you to continue with the mission. There are no coins after this, so just don't choke on the pole star race with a spooky speedster. The last standard mission in Gusty Galaxy is Beware of Bouldergeist. Getting all 27 coins in bulk of the mission is simple, but where are the 20 other remaining coins? Well, they're all found within the Bouldergeist fight when he's throwing the golden rocks at you. During his rock summoning, he can summon a gray rock that does nothing, a black rock that spawns a bamboo, and a golden rock that spawns a coin. He is more likely to spawn a golden rock if Mario doesn't have full health. Throughout the entire fight, he can spawn up to 20 golden rocks. Bouldergeist can spawn all 20 golden rocks regardless of whether he is in Phase 1 or Phase 2. In Phase 1, he only spawns 5 rocks at a time, but this is his only attack what he can do besides summoning rock pillars from the ground. In Phase 2, he spawns 10 rocks at a time, but he also has far more attacks using his rock hands, which wastes time. Which phase you pick from to farm the golden rocks is up to you. Be ready to spend about 15 minutes getting all those coins to show up. Bouldergeist Daredevil Run, on the other hand, has no coins in the mission at all since it is a Daredevil mission. Thank goodness. Purple coins in the Bone Pen likewise has no gold coins, so there's nothing else to mention here as well. Splatter Mansion, on the other hand, poses another interesting challenge. It takes place during a very spooky sprint, meaning that the Haunted Mansion access glitch is required once again. However, after getting the 3 mansion coins, there's a bit of a problem. The camera is positioned in such a way that it encourages you to go towards the launch star, and the camera never changes. However, you're trying to go back to the first planet because that's where the hidden launch star is for this mission, and from this camera angle, the pole stars you need to use aren't on screen. Therefore, you'll have to awkwardly fling yourself with the pole stars in an effort to get enough distance and speed to reach each of the pole stars manually. It is very easy to mess up at this section, but like every mission in the game, you can get better with practice. Use the bone pillars as general guides. The pole stars are directly between the bone pillars, so since you can't aim for the pole star directly, try directing Mario in the general direction of the bone pillars. Once you make it back to the first planet, grab the rainbow star and then hightail it to the launch star to access the Splatter Mansion. The invincibility lasts just long enough to defeat 2 of the boos here and get their coins, and you need to not waste any time when doing this part. The first boo is easy. To get the coin for the second boo, you'll need to vault over this wall very quickly with the spins and a wall jump, and then you need to long jump over the question mark coin. Quickly turn around so that you can backflip in the correct direction, and then when you land, do a standing jump and move in the direction of the boo so that the boo approaches you. You'll have just enough time to get this coin as well. You'll still need to grab the question mark coin because of this question mark block that stores a coin, but otherwise the rest of the mission can be played like normal. This one ended up being way more difficult than it needed to be. Our next stop is Buoy Base Galaxy, one of only 2 galaxies in the game that contains 2 stars. The standard mission, the Floating Fortress, has an even 50 coins to collect, and they're spread all throughout the level, including the underside of the base that's used for the secret star. This galaxy introduces bloopers, which can drop a coin if spun into. This coin can be swum into normally, or Mario can spin near the coin to slowly pull it toward himself automatically. This trick is very important if you have trouble lining up with the coin as it starts sinking. There's also a 10 coin question mark block below the base that is protected by bullet bill blasters. Make sure you start the 10 jumps after the bullet bills that pass by so that they don't get in your way. Once you have 46 coins, you can use the pull stars on the top of the fortress to get the last 4 coins on the Poke Planet. The secret of Buoy Base, on the other hand, poses an interesting problem. Once you use the pull stars to get to the Poke Planet, they completely disappear. Like, why? This is the only instance in the entire game where the pull stars go away after you've used them. Ugh. Anyway, this prevents Mario from returning to the original fortress, but since there are 4 coins on the Poke Planet, that limits this star coin to only 46, since backtracking isn't really an option. There is a way to circumvent the limited use of the pull stars, but it requires the use of Coast Star. This time we won't be using the Coast Star's ability to freeze enemies in place, but instead we'll be using the Coast Star jump. Did you remember that exists? I certainly didn't before going into research for this challenge. Collect 4 of the 5 blue star chips, then bounce off this green top man in such a way that you avoid collecting the last blue star chip. Hold the jump button during the bounce to get extra height. At the peak of the bounce, do a mid-air Coast Star jump to get just enough height to be pulled into the Poke Planet's gravity without making the pull stars appear. To perform a mid-air Coast Star jump, have Mario or Luigi perform a spin and a ground pound at the same time. And then just afterwards, have the Coast Star player point at Mario or Luigi and press jump. This extra height will be used several times in this video for similar applications. Now that we're on the Poke Planet, we can get the 4 coins, but we still have to make it back to the original fortress. Perform a triple jump with the 3rd jump starting on the lower screw. Then we need to perform another mid-air Coast Star jump to just barely grab the last blue star chip. Since we were on the Poke Planet and not the main fortress when the pull stars were activated, they won't despawn anymore. Now you can simply use the pull star momentum to sling yourself close enough to the fortress for its gravity to take over, upon which you can finish the mission like normal. Despite all the explanation needed for the star, it's actually somewhat fun to perform all these sequence breaks. We've now made it to the 3rd Bowser level of the game. You know, I thought about doing a dramatic build-up for this mission, considering that this is the most difficult max coin challenge in the game, but I've already did that gag for Sling Pod, so let's just cut to the chase. This moving platform is the source of the most difficult single trick of the game. Once this platform has been activated, it speeds towards Bowser Jr.'s airship at breakneck speeds, all while cannonballs get shot from you from all sides. Just like previous cannonballs, you can get coins from them by shooting them with star bits. In this case though, due to the speed of the moving platform, not only can you get only 1 coin per cannonball, instead of the usual 3, but there are some cannons that you just can't get any coins from. You may think that this is a good thing, and in some ways it is, but what this means instead is that you only have 1 chance to get all of these coins. If you miss a single coin here, then it's all over. In fact, this section is so difficult that I don't even have continuous footage of the maximum number of coins being collected. The best demonstration I have misses out on 1 coin. So let's take a look at the clip before I go into any more details. This is normally where I'd explain the intricacies of the gameplay so that you can potentially replicate this for yourself, but since this clip missed the coin, I'm not going to do that. There is one thing I'd like to point out about how annoying this section is that you don't see in this clip. If you shoot a cannonball with a star bit, the next cannonball that gets fired will have its inbox active across the entire firing line for the first frame that it appears on screen. This is known as a lingering hitbox. In a sense, it acts like a laser on this first frame. If you are standing in the cannonball's path, then you will get hit, even though the cannonball is nowhere near close to you. It's highly annoying when it happens, and in the context of a max coin challenge, it's an immediate game over. Now, let's take a look at the coin that the original clip missed. It's this coin, right here. The 4th cannonball in these 2 cannon sets never overlaps with the platform, so it's not possible to get either of these coins. Even if you are able to get all those coins, you still have the 3 Spranglers at the end to contend with. It's possible to get all the coins from the Spranglers as well. Do a double jump to the Spranglers, then spin to stall yourself in the air and let the Spranglers swing towards you. This moment allows Mario to stomp the Sprangler to get the coin. To make it back to the platform, do another spin and then you'll be ready to wall jump off the platform's propellers. Do this 3 times to get all the Sprangler's coins. The hardest part of this mission is over, but there is still more to go. The last thing of note is that the cannon Bowser Jr. uses in the boss fight is the one cannon I mentioned was the exception to Super Mario Galaxy's cannon rule. That's because this cannon doesn't have a 3 cannonball limit. After Bowser Jr. has been hit once, he'll be able to fire cannonballs much faster. When playing without Co-Star, up to 7 cannonballs can be active at the same time, meaning you can get 7 coins from the cannonballs this time. There's actually a sneaky way of getting an 8th cannonball to spawn. Just before the first cannonball naturally despawns, jump on it to make it start falling. The cannonball doesn't disappear for an extra second when this happens, and this additional time is just enough for another cannonball to be shot. We'll see this cannonball stalling trick used again in a later mission. Don't forget to open up the glass cage before finishing the fight, and if you've done everything else up to this point, then you can finish the mission with 44 coins. So, what's up with that 77 coin total when using Co-Star? Well, there's 2 main uses for Co-Star that massively boost the coin record for this mission. First of all, it's possible to board each of the airships in the moving platform section by the use of the Co-Star mid-air jump. Afterwards, you can jump down to a cannonball, shoot it with a star bit, and collect the coin, then do another mid-air Co-Star jump to get back to the airship. This can be done for every single cannon in this section, so since a cannon can give up to 3 coins, that results in a 23 coin improvement from this one trick alone. The second use of Co-Star is against Bowser Jr.'s cannon. By freezing the cannonballs in place, you can get way more than 7 cannonballs on screen at once. How many specifically? As it turns out, there is a limit to how many cannonballs can be on screen, and that limit is 18 cannonballs. Thanks go to Dendonadon for proving what the limit is. This gives a 10 coin improvement over single player. 10 plus 23 is 33, which is where all the extra Co-Star coins come from. Jeez, what a troublesome mission. The final galaxy in the Kitchen Dome is Drip Drop Galaxy, accessed by the Hungry Luma outside. In stark contrast to the previous mission, Giant Eel Outbreak contains a mere 12 coins that are all easily accessible in the water. There's really not much else to talk about, but after the previous mission, I'll take any break I can get. Our first venture into the bedroom is Gusty Garden Galaxy, heralded by many as one of the best galaxies in the game simply because of the music. Will that reputation be maintained throughout our coin challenge? Let's find out. The first mission, Bunnies in the Wind, features only one noteworthy area. In the latter half of the mission, you'll come across a series of bean-shaped planets connected by vines. On the second planet, there are 2 vines leading to different planets. These planets eventually lead to the same destination, but there are coins on both, necessitating that you need to go to both planets. To do this, you'll need to use the underside vine first. Go to that planet, get the coins there, then do a max height triple jump to reach the original vine. Using the topside vine first prevents you from backtracking, hence why this planet must be visited first. Other than this slight backtracking, the first mission is doable. The Dirty Tricks of Major Bros does indeed have some dirty tricks that need to be addressed. There is a rainbow star in this mission, and it's normally used to get the 2 coins from the small spiky plants nearby. However, there are several large spiky plants lining the next floaty fluff section, and if successfully destroying these plants grants 1 coin each. The main problem is that even if you are invincible, touching the spiky plants will instantly destroy the floaty fluff. Nearly all of the spiky plants in this area are too far away from the main plants to get the coin and make it back to the planet. However, the farthest planet on the left side is barely close enough to the nearby planet for 1 extra coin to be collected. The hardest part is ensuring that you can reach this planet before the invincibility runs out. When riding the floaty fluff, wait to do the first spin boost until you're at the lowest part of the wind current, so that the height you gain from the boost keeps you in the wind. Wait until you're in the middle of the wind before the second and third boosts immediately, then hold down and jump off the fluff at the apex of the boost. If done correctly, Mario will be facing away from the target planet, and as we see many times throughout this challenge, Mario's increased backwards movement has been extremely important. Luckily this trick is near the beginning of the mission, so it doesn't take too long to try again. If all of that was too difficult and you don't mind using Co-Star, then don't worry, there's actually an easier way to get a 41st coin. There's a floating spiky plant above this planet that is only accessible through the use of a Co-Star mid-air jump. There's nowhere near as much of a time crunch to get this coin. Interestingly, this is the only mission in the whole game where the total coins you can get with and without Co-Star are the same, yet the actual coins collected are different. Moving on with the rest of the mission, make sure that you explore the Metal Ring planet for 9 extra coins by grabbing the pulsars as you pass through the planet. Afterwards, there are a bunch of flip bugs, yes, that's actually their name, on the apples. It is extremely easy to accidentally kick them and make them drop starbits instead of coins. To help reduce the number of times this happens, do a homing ground pound onto the flip bugs by spinning at the same time as doing a ground pound. Mario will home in on the enemy and prevent him from accidentally running into it. The last area of note is the Major Burrows boss fight. There are several coins trapped within the spiky plants that can only be freed by Major Burrows. However, he isn't going to break open the plants just because you want him to. You need to direct his movement so that he breaks open the plants. In addition to this, you need to make sure that you can get the coin. If you try to run around Major Burrows, it may take so long that the coin despawns. To prevent this, have Major Burrows approach you from far away, then as he breaks the plant, long jump directly over him. This is the safest and most reliable way to get these coins. After getting the 4 coins from the plants, defeat the boss like normal and collect your star. Gusty Garden's Gravity Scramble is definitely the most difficult mission in this galaxy for max coins. There's also cannonballs in this mission. Coin incidents? Well, in this case, actually, yes it is. The reason this mission is so difficult isn't because of the cannons, but because of the planet with all the spiky plants on it. Quite a few of these plants, but not all of them, store a coin inside, just like the previous mission. The only way to destroy them in this mission is through the use of a rainbow star, which you can only use for a limited time. This timeline is not long enough to get every coin possible from these plants. Even in the best route known, it still misses 2 of the coins. After seeing this route for yourself though, you'll understand why those last 2 coins are phantoms. The first thing done in this route is minimizing the landing lag after being launched from the launch star. This can be done after nearly every launch star in the game. All you need to do is rapidly go into first person mode, then exit it as soon as you land from a launch star flight. The time it takes to do this, and then being able to move Mario is shorter than just landing normally, and in this race against time, every small advantage helps. The first move is to run directly left so that you run straight toward the spiky plant to the right of this coin. As soon as you hit this plant, immediately start heading down. After you heard the 4th coin appear, begin making your way upwards, doing a small loop to stall yourself for just long enough to collect that 4th coin. Collect the coins that you spawned in on the way, as well as the one that was just sitting there. Once you reach the same coin that you spawned in at the start, move left and start advancing on the planet. There are 2 coins within the spiky plants in the second ring, but these are the 2 that we need to skip. Jump over this ring of plants. The plant that we're aiming for doesn't have a good way to distinguish it from the others, so you just might need to get used to which plant you need to target. After hitting it and spawning in its coin, don't bother trying to collect it, we'll get it later. Continue to the 4th ring of plants and aim for the second plant to the right of the floating coin. Make an immediate left and run along those plants until you spawn in 2 more coins. Then advance to the last spiky plant ring. Like before, there's not necessarily a good way to distinguish the target spiky plant from the others. But to me, it looks like the one that needs to be hit is slightly smaller than the other, so let's go with that. Aim for this plant and then turn to the right to run alongside this ring of plants. After spawning in 2 additional coins, you've now destroyed every plant in this planet that can give you a coin except for those 2 plants on the second ring. However, the invincibility won't last that long, and it barely lasts long enough to collect these coins. Run back to the 3rd ring where you destroyed a single plant to get its coin, and then begin retracing your steps to collect all the coins in the 4th and 5th rings. You'll be on a very tight timer because you spawned in those coins while you were running at Rainbow Star speeds, but Mario runs slower than that. If you aren't incredibly optimal with your movement, then you won't get the maximum coins possible from this section. Now you can see why those last 2 coins are very likely impossible to get. There's not enough time to use the Rainbow Star to get those coins as well. If you can get all those coins, then you've done the hardest part of this mission, but there is still more to do. There's a 10 coin block that you really don't want to mess up if you made it this far, and there's a lot of cannons in the final section of this level as well. Thankfully, all these cannonballs pass above solid ground, so those coins are very easy to collect. Make sure you have plenty of star bits to use here, and also keep in mind that the first 2 cannons fire slowly enough to only give 2 coins apiece instead of the usual 3. As has been the trend, Major Burrow's Daredevil run features no coins because it is a Daredevil mission. No questions here. Purple coins on the puzzle cube is mildly interesting because all 16 coins come from defeating the 16 Goombas. There are 3 Goombas on 5 sides of the cube that you don't start on, and 1 Goomba on the starting side of the cube. You're still under a time limit, but you have plenty of time to collect the necessary purple coins as well as stomping on all the Goombas. You can even get all 150 purple coins as well as stomping on every Goomba and getting the 16 normal coins. Give that a try if you want a more intense challenge. Lastly, the Golden Chomp takes place during Gusty Garden's Gravity Scramble, so it uses the exact same spiky plant destruction path from before. The only difference is that the mission ends on the same planet, and part of your route needs to include destroying the Golden Chomp as well. This can easily be done by delaying when you get the Rainbow Star until a second or two after the Golden Chomp has rolled past the point where you can't see him from this spot anymore. It'll then be right in the middle of your intended path when you reach that section. Just because the mission ends on this planet doesn't necessarily mean that we have to stay here though. It turns out that there's actually a way to travel back to this planet from the 3 saucers. After collecting the 31 coins here, line up Mario with the left edge of the saucer. The goal is to perform what is known as a Mega Triple Jump. If Mario isn't standing flat on the ground, then the game corrects his position by adding a tiny bit of vertical speed to the part of him that is clipped into the ground. If Mario jumps at the same time this happens, the vertical speed gets added to Mario's own jumping speed, and he gets a much higher jump than normal. This effect is more pronounced during a triple jump. It's easier to skew Mario's angle when he has to rapidly change his direction on a single planet, such as the narrow edges of these saucers. After doing the second jump, let go of the control stick, then briefly hold left, and then release the control stick again. This should give Mario just enough momentum to orbit the saucer and land on the saucer's upper lip. Buffer a jump just before landing, and if you did it correctly, Mario will gain a huge amount of height from the triple jump. Do a spin at the apex of this jump, and if you break free from the saucer's gravity, hold down left on the control stick to fall back down to the Golden Chomp planet. That was pretty nifty. Freezeflame Galaxy is home to 2 of the 8 missions that exceed 100 coins. The first of which is the Frozen Peak of Baron Burr. Most of these coins come from a timed event that starts when you collect this big question mark coin. After grabbing it, 80 coins appear in multiple rings above the frigid lake. Many players try to skate as Ice Mario to get these coins in time, but skating reduces the accuracy in which you can get these coins. It's actually better if you simply walk on the water as Ice Mario instead. You can easily do this by jumping at the question mark coin, landing on the water spout below it, and then just walking off the spout. Landing on the main body of water like this will not make Mario begin skating. After that, calmly collect the coins and double back if you ended up missing any. Do this at the start of the mission and just in case you mess up. Additionally, there are several coins present on the Secret Star area of this planet, so you'll need to visit that area for some more coins. Watch out for the black holes as you make your way back up to the Baron Burr arena. Finally, there are 2 little birds that spawn in during the Baron Burr fight. Make sure that you defeat these little guys too. In total, you'll collect 115 coins for this mission. However, this total can be increased through an obscure use of Co-Star mode. If you're playing as Luigi and do a specific triple jump on the starting platform, then you can escape its gravity and get pulled toward the ice skating section from Hot and Cold Collide. You could collect the 3 coins here, then do a specific damage bounce off this lava platform to rocket all the way back to the main planet. This would allow for 118 coins to be collected instead. Up next is the flame part of the galaxy in Freezeflame's blistering core. Most of the coins are easy to get with the exception of a well-hidden question mark block on top of the pillar in the first area. The only other trouble spot would be some of the little cinders near the end of the level, but those only require some patience. Now it's time to fuse both environments together in Hot and Cold Collide, and for the first time in a while, there's hardly anything to mention here. There are only 9 coins throughout the mission with no special tips or tricks needed. Yay! Frosty Cosmic Mario Race is personally my favorite Cosmic Mario race, but it does not feature any of the coins on the ice path, so there's nothing else to do here. Purple coins in the summit is very similar to the Frozen Peak of Baron Burr, except this one is slightly easier because there are no enemies in this version of the level, unless you count the bumps, I guess. Conquering the summit is nearly identical to the Frozen Peak of Baron Burr, except you can just get a different star at the end. Don't forget the 2 coins for the little birds in the boss fight. Co-Star can be used to increase the max coins here by 3 as well by using the same strategy discussed from the first Freezeflame mission. The next galaxy is the first instance of a dome having a 3rd primary galaxy. Most of the max coin challenges here have small noteworthy points, but nothing massive. The first mission within Density Dune Galaxy, Soaring on the Desert Wind, is the toughest. Most of the level can be played as normal, but there are several piranha plants toward the end of the underground section. A few of them are on the ground and can be easily defeated with a stomp, but there are also 2 piranha plants in the ceiling. They can easily be defeated with spins, but that makes them drop star bits, not coins. Is it possible to get these coins from the piranha plants? Yes, it actually is. You need to wait for the piranha plant to lean back in an effort to lunge at you, then you should long jump directly at it. Mario will barely fit between the ceiling and the piranha plant's head, and he'll get the coin to spawn instead. The other problematic area in this mission are the cluck booms. Just like with flip bugs, they can easily be defeated by running into them instead of with a stomp if you aren't careful. Even more annoying is that the second cluck boom flies above fast-moving sand and is difficult to stomp on. The best strategy here is to hit the cluck boom with a starbit, then before it falls to the ground, jump above where the cluck boom will move once it lands on the moving sand, and then do a homing ground pound. You should be able to lock onto the bomb bird and get its coin. The rest of the mission has nothing of note. Blasting through the sand is next, and while there may be a few coins to get at 54, there's only one abnormal thing done in this mission. When you get to the moving sand planet where you get to choose between the green path or the orange path, go on the green path first and enter the warp pipe. Get all 4 coins from the coin lamps in this room, but then return to the planet you were previously on, and then go down the orange path. The top exit of this room leads you midway through the final planet and ends up skipping a few coins. This route will be used in a later mission though. Sunbig's Sandcastle features a measly 7 coins, and the hardest 2 are right at the very start, with 1 coin that is briefly available and a cluck boom. If you get both of those coins, you are set for the rest of the mission. However, there is a decent possibility for additional coins being possible in this mission. If you can get the 3 coins from the Secret Star planet and then go back to one of the prior planets, this would increase the max coins of this mission to 10. The closest attempt we made so far has been to jump into the quicksand and then mash the jump button while Mario drifts towards the edge of the planet. On some attempts, a single spin can be performed to bonk Mario into the wall, and this bonk could be hypothetically used to escape the planet somehow. If you can figure out a way to escape this planet, let me know in the comments. Is what I would say, except it is actually possible to escape this planet. And for this only being a single maneuver, it's actually very difficult to pull off, mostly because you can't see Mario while setting yourself up for this trick. So much for Soaring on the Desert Winds being the hardest mission in this galaxy. The goal is to spin into the edge of the outer wall so that Mario bonks it and gains a small amount of height. If done well, this height gain can be significant enough for Mario to escape the quicksand and then perform a wall jump to escape the quicksand entirely. The main reason this is difficult is because you can only get the necessary bonk on this particular surface, as the rest of the outer walls can't be bonked into for some reason. You can't see the surface from the default camera angle though, so every single attempt is like a shot in the dark. Here's the surface that you're aiming for from a different point of view so that you have a better idea as to where to go. The setup for actually getting the bonk and wall jump is decently straightforward, thankfully. Activate the blue switch on the planet, then go to the second stone wall's leftmost side and do a long jump straight toward the camera. The instant that you land in the quicksand, push the control stick directly up and to the right and start mashing the jump button. Don't worry, you don't have to mash that fast, but just fast enough that Mario doesn't sink below the quicksand. Keep mashing jump and holding the control stick until Mario reaches the wall. You'll have to wait a bit over a second before you can do the spin. If you time the spin correctly and get the wall bonk, you then need to hold the exact opposite direction of the control stick that you were previously holding to move Mario toward the wall. If all this was done and positioned correctly, you'll then have a brief window of time to do the wall jump, after which the rest of the trick is trivial. Even with the trick explained though, it may still take you a while to get it done due to how difficult it is. At least that's the only hard part in the whole mission. Unlike in Space Junk Galaxy, where the speedrun mission had more coins than the original mission, Sandblast Speedrun actually has less coins than the original mission at only 23. This is the mission where you can go straight to the green path because there are no coins at all on the orange path. This also saves a bit of time overall. Purple coins in the desert has no gold coins in it, so this mission can be ignored. Bullet Bill on your back is very similar to Sunbaked Sandcastle, except there are 3 additional coins on the final planet. Nothing spectacular. And lastly, Treasure of the Pyramid takes place during blasting through the sand, with many coins found within the pyramid itself. You can get these coins while finding the silver stars, or you can wait until you get all 5 silver stars and the sand drains out, making things easier for yourself. Regardless of what you choose, this mission is quite simple. Before we go to the next Bowser level, we need to tackle the Honeyclimb Galaxy first. And, there's not much to do here. You climb 3 honey walls, with coins being found on the first and third walls, and you get the star. Hooray! God, this mission's boring. Next! Bowser's Dark Matter Plan is one of the few missions that has a hidden area with loads of coins, like a treasure trove. It's above the end of the first gravity wall section. There's a row of 10 coins leading to the 10 coin question mark block. Other than this oddity, the rest of the mission has no outstanding characteristics. There's more coins to get on the planet where you fight Bowser like last time, but that's not unexpected. The final galaxy in the bedroom area is Bigmouth, accessed by the Hungry Luma. This galaxy is small, but it features a mildly annoying set of coins to collect. After you make your way through the planet and find the gold shell, a whopping 17 boosts show up in the first area, with all of them containing a coin when defeated by the shell's headlight. You'll have to be careful that you don't defeat the boost too fast and end up missing some of the coins because too many coins appeared all at once. Take your time on this section. Additionally, you can destroy a jellyfish with a normal spin attack to get a coin from each, and the large jellyfish can be defeated by throwing 2 shells at it for another coin. This galaxy is more methodical than actually challenging. We've now arrived at the Engine Room Galaxy, starting first with Gold Leaf Galaxy. This Honeyhive Galaxy ripoff has difficult comet missions, but nothing else. Star Bunny's on the hunt, Catacrack to the skies, when it rains it pours, and even the Secret Star, the Bell on the Big Tree, all have a question mark coin below the main planet that leads to 50 coins via Sling Star. The other coins in these missions are otherwise unremarkable. The Comet missions are where this galaxy's challenge lies. Cosmic Warrior Forest Race has 6 coins in the mission, 3 behind the start, 1 inside a starbelt flower near the waterfall, 1 in a leaf pile past the big tree, and 1 inside a green pipe at the top of the planet. The 3 coins behind the star can be collected with no problem, but due to time constraint of the race, not all other 3 coins are possible to get. With optimal routing, it is possible to get the leaf pile's coin and the starbelt flower's coin, and just barely win the race. You'll need to use a variant on the slope climbing glitch where instead of repeatedly jumping backwards up a slope, you instead just run directly up the slope while constantly shaking the Wii remote or pressing the spin button. This method isn't as universally useful for slope climbing, but it is the fastest. The coin inside the green pipe is too far away to get the coin and make it back to win the race, meaning only 5 coins are possible here. Purple Coins in the Woods features the exact same 6 coin locations from the Cosmic Mario race, but the extra time given for this mission is just enough to get the coin from the pipe as well as the other coins. You can even make a few mistakes while trying to get every coin, but not very many. We've now arrived at my least favorite galaxy in the game. Thankfully, the Max Coin Challenge has no significant issues and we can cruise through this galaxy pretty quickly. Going after a Guppy and Faster Than a Speeding Penguin featured the exact same 6 coin locations, and all of them are in air bubbles that can be easily collected while completing the mission. No challenge here at all, thank God. The Silver Stars of Sea Slide and the Secret Star mission that goes with it, Hurry, He's Hungry, also share identical coin locations, having 14 total. 13 of these coins come from the large mangrove, which has a lot of spranglers, and there's 1 more coin on top of this palm tree. The only challenge here is actually defeating the spranglers with a jump, wily little things. Our final Cosmic Comet mission, Underwater Cosmic Mario Race, has the same 6 coins in it as the first 2 missions, although you can only get 3 of them and still win the race. The third coin is a bit tricky since it is underwater right next to the spot where you need to grab it to get back onto land, and is right in front of a sign that could stop your momentum. Grab the coin while also heading upwards, and then as you reach the surface, hold the jump button to do a full sail jump out of the water and aim for one of the nearby walls. Throw the shell before you reach the wall, then do a wall jump to spin to reach solid ground, then run to the star. This may take a few tries, but in the grand scheme of the Max Coin Challenge, this one is a cinch. Lastly, Purple Coins by the Seaside is easily the worst mission in the game, but at least there are only 2 coins to get, and they're both from Piranha Plants. Completing the Max Coin Challenge for this mission takes about the same amount of time that it would take to beat the mission normally. Toy Time Galaxy is the last primary galaxy in the engine room, and it follows the same trend of the previous 2 galaxies in terms of having more simplistic Max Coin challenges. Heavy Metal Mecha Bowser has no special mechanics required to get all 29 of its coins. As a slightly unrelated bonus, it is possible to do the entire mission without the Spring Mushroom if you feel inclined to do so. Mario Meets Mario initially seems like a very unassuming level, as there are only 3 planets in the mission, and the only coins to be found on these planets are on the second one. However, this mission has access to the Hidden Star planet, and there are 3 coins on that planet. This normally doesn't mean anything, since you can't return to previous planets because of the one-way nature of launch stars. But this mission happens to be the exception to that rule due to a particular quirk of these Tox boxes. If Mario jumps off of the Tox box at the exact instant the Tox box begins rotating, then the Tox box's rotational velocity gets added to Mario's jump velocity and sends him flying. You can escape the gravity of this planet by doing a long jump off this Tox box and aiming downward and to the left. Position Mario near the edge of the Tox box, then do a long jump the instant the Tox box moves. Correctly timing this will fling Mario upwards. After a successful launch, hold down right on the control stick instead. After falling past the original planet, spin as much as possible to increase your horizontal movement speed. If you do all of this correctly, you'll end up returning to the second planet. Despite how strange this glitch looks, it's actually not very difficult to pull off if you know what to do, so give it a shot. This ultimately lets the 3 coins for the Hidden Star planet count for this mission as well, giving 8 coins total. Hardly a hefty coin total, but there was a fun story behind this one. Bouncing down Cake Lane is definitely the most difficult mission in this galaxy for max coins. It's not because there are any particularly trickier maneuvers you need to do, but rather, there are a lot of enemies placed in precarious situations. All these Octoombas are in thin ice. This little bird can be easily knocked off into space, and the Mecha Koopas on the staircase cutlery have this bizarre behavior where the coin spawn location is not necessarily where the Mecha Koopa was defeated, causing the coins to sometimes fall into space for no good reason. Interestingly, this mission's total coin count, 29, matches that of the first mission and is also the max coins possible within the galaxy. This is the only instance in the entire game where this happens. If you're going through the poor galaxy coin records, I recommend doing Heavy Metal Mecha Bowser since it's much easier. The remaining missions in Toy Time are a cakewalk, pun intended. Fast Fun's Toy Time has a mere 3 coins to collect, Luigi's Purple Coins has no gold coins to collect, and the Flipswitch chain is found during Mario Meets Mario. A very simple finish to the galaxy. Before we visit the penultimate Bowser level, Bonefin Galaxy stands in our way. It is home of the best boss in the game, and there are only 3 coins in this mission. The first coin is immediately available, but the other 2 coins are hidden within rock columns that must be destroyed by King Fin after he's been damaged a few times. Keep that in mind and this mission will be over before you know it. We've mostly had an easy time with the max coin challenges in the interim as a whole, so let's ride that momentum into the Bowser level. Yep, we have a rematch with King Caliente, and it's even more obnoxious than last time. Let's cover the boss fight first. Just like in the original fight, King Caliente can spawn in 6 different lava bubbles that give 2 coins apiece. You can identify the specific lava bubbles using the same strategy as before. What's different about this fight is that he'll start spawning the lava bubbles after being hit only once. Once he's hit twice, meteors will start raining down as well. Since the lava bubbles he spawns during this phase don't give any extra coins, having meteors rain down on you will only serve to get in your way, so just get all the lava bubbles coins after the first hit. However, there are also 5 lava bubbles that naturally spawn at different locations in the arena. Go after these lava bubbles before even hitting King Caliente for the first time. I've neglected to mention it until now, but be extremely careful regarding the stinking grates. If the lava bubbles coin barely even touches the lava, then it's game over. There is also the matter of getting the star bits. The only way to farm for star bits is to get as many as you can on the very first planet, then fall into the black hole and respawn. This means you only have 1 attempt after farming up your 250 plus star bits. So this mission is basically a mix between Good Egg Galaxy and Battlerock Galaxy. Awesome. Thankfully for us, this is the last time we'll see Bowser Jr. until the finale. Last but not least, we have the Sand Spiral Galaxy, accessed by the Engine Room's Hungry Luma. This galaxy is pretty short and doesn't have many coins, but actually getting every coin requires a bit of effort. Most importantly, the Magic Koopa at the start of the mission should be defeated as soon as possible. Grab some Starbits and fire them at the Magic Koopa to stun it to prevent it from teleporting away. After that, grab the Boo Mushroom and make your way to the Sling Star, luring the Boos into the light along the way. Once you reach the Sling Star, grab the coin on the Honeycomb, then go into the Sling Star to remove the Boo power-up. This allows Mario to then jump onto the 2 bats in the area and get the last 2 coins. Again, this is a pretty short mission, but there are several things that need to be done correctly. Before we move on to the final dome in the game, it's finally time to get that second star from Gateway Galaxy now that we have access to the gate. After hearing a brief monologue from Rosalina that is riddled with contradictions, we can start on the purple coin hunt. 4 Goombas spawn in after talking to Rosalina. That's the only special thing to note. After completing that mission, a Hungry Luma appears outside the gate and leads to the Boo's Boneyard Galaxy. This galaxy's sole mission is to race a spooky speedster once again, but this time there are coins littered all throughout the race course. You may think it would be very difficult to get every coin in the course in one go, and you'd be right. If we had to do it in one go, however, just because we finished the race doesn't mean the mission is over. Yeah, this removes just about all the challenge for this mission. I mean, it's certainly doable to get every coin in one go, but going backwards after the race is finished is much, much easier. With those slight detours finished, it's time to go to the final dome, the Garden. Our first galaxy is the Deep Dark Galaxy, which not only has 3 of the 8 missions that have over 100 coins in them, but it houses quite possibly the strangest glitch used in these max coin challenges. It's used in 4 of the 6 missions in this galaxy, so I should explain how it works first. After arriving in the galaxy, head over to this wall and jump on top of it. The entirety of this rock face acts as a slope, so you can climb it using the slope climbing glitch. The goal is to reach the top of this cliff face, and to do so, follow the path outlined here. The rest of the cliff has slopes that are too steep. After carefully making your way to the top, you'll find that there are no collisions on the top, and you'll fall through the cliff. Congratulations, you made it out of bounds. This out of bounds area is filled with water and extends a small distance away from the main area. Think of it as a water jacket that surrounds the main level. You can swim in this water jacket to maneuver around the level while remaining out of bounds. If you go where the ghost ship area is, then you'll come across a crate that is below the normal level. This is the only way to access this crate, hence why this trick is required for 4 of the 6 missions in this galaxy. Just because we made it to the crate doesn't mean we can easily get back to the coin though. The coin that appears after destroying the crate pops up into the normal level, not the out of bounds area we are currently in. If Mario enters the normal level area, then he's stuck there unless you opened up the grate separating the ghost ship area from the rest of the level. Luckily, it's possible to input a spin while remaining still on the water surface to do a small jump out of the water, and this height is just enough to grab the coin. Once you have this coin, you can simply swim back to the normal part of the level and go back in bounds to resume the mission as if nothing happened. If the camera ever moves to where it gets stuck on the main level, it won't be able to focus on Mario. To get the camera to follow Mario again, you'll have to make Mario move very far away from where the camera got stuck. It's inconvenient, but it's better than swimming around with no clue as to where you're going. This is the general premise behind the glitch, so now let's take a look at the missions. The Underground Ghost Ship is the first mission in the galaxy and requires using the out of bounds glitch to get the crate's coin. Other than that, there are several notable coins in this mission. First of all, there's a large number of octo guys on one of the planets accessed by the canyon. You'll need to stomp them all, but with every single one trying to shoot rocks at you, it's very easy to accidentally take too much damage and die. To help prevent this, watch for the octo guys that stop moving so that they can charge up a rock to spit at you. After they spit the rock, run straight at them and jump on them after the rock passes over your head. Rinse and repeat this until every octo guy is defeated. There's also this rock slab on the starting area that can be ground pounded to give a coin. There's a few loose coins and a magic Koopa in the area that is normally accessed during the second mission, but we can still reach that part of the level with a well-spaced triple jump or side flip. Finally, there's a giant jellyfish that can be defeated by throwing 2 shells at it, just like in Bigmouth Galaxy. Finish up the boss fight and you'll complete the mission with 105 coins. The second mission, Bubble Blast Off, utilizes the same glitch as mentioned before, except it cranks up the difficulty significantly. The underground crate can be accessed just like normal. However, because the developers didn't intend for you to access the ghost ship area at all during this mission, the entrance is blocked off by boulders. Opening the grate does not help at all. Therefore, if you pop back into the normal level during this mission, then you are completely stuck and can't get out. So you'll have to leave the galaxy and start over. Including the initial underground crates coin, you can get an additional 8 coins that would be entirely inaccessible in this mission. The first 2 new coins to get are from these 2 crates. For some bizarre reason, the water jacket that normally surrounds the level is almost completely missing below these 2 crates. Although, to be fair, maybe it's not right for me to call this bizarre considering we're already using a glitch, but whatever. To get these coins, approach the crate from below by diving from the surface. Then make Mario face horizontally and swim forward twice. He'll pop out of the water jacket, and once that happens, hold directly down on the control stick and spin a moment later. He'll move just enough to move back into the water. Once in the water, hold forward again to have him fall out. This stream water climbing is needed to reach the crate without swimming directly to it, as this would cause Mario to clip back in bounds. The timing of the spin is very important as it dictates how much height you get. If you spin too soon, you can gain too much height and pop back in bounds. After doing this a few times, you'll eventually get the coin. You then need to move over to where the ghost ship is. Once over there, you can position yourself near this crate, and then you get to do the exact same water ladder trick here as well. Once you get both those coins, you can move over to this last crate in the corner. The water jacket is below this crate, so you can jump straight into the crate to spawn the coin, no problem. However, even the smallest jump out of the water will cause Mario to go back and down while getting this coin. To prevent this, input a spin, as this makes Mario immediately jump out of the water, and almost immediately after, do a ground pound. This should give Mario barely enough height, but still be sufficient to get the coin. If you ground pound too early, then you have enough time before the coin despawns to try again one more time. But don't celebrate just yet, because we still have 4 more coins to go. Staying out of bounds, move over to where the switch is that opens the grate. There are 2 jellyfish and 2 brick blocks here. All 4 of these objects can be spun into to give a coin. You must be extra careful though, because these objects are barely close enough for you to hit them while remaining out of bounds. If you clip back in bounds, you'll get soft lock. To help prevent this, spin into the objects while going straight up, with a slight bias for the out of bounds area. This should hopefully reduce the amounts of times you clip back in bounds. Once the object is destroyed, spin again to collect the coin. Make several passes through the area if you need to, and take your time. Be extra careful with the camera in this area, as it is easy to get the camera stuck in the main level, forcing you to swim blindly until you get the camera back. Once you get these coins, swim back and bounce to finish the most difficult glitch maneuver in the max coin challenges. Most of the rest of the mission can be done normally. Be extra careful with the Octoguy planet, since you definitely don't want to mess this up now. The last part that may be difficult is stomping on the Cheep Chiefs on the second to last planet. They bounce around on the ground in an erratic manner and can be difficult to jump on. My tip is to run alongside them so that you can get used to the timing of their bounces, and then time your own jump to land on them when they reach the ground. If you can make it past these Cheep Chiefs, then you'll have finished the max coin challenge in this galaxy with 111 coins. Co-Star can be used to collect an extra 6 coins from the ghost ship area by using a certain out of bounds trick. I'll explain it more when we get to the purple coin mission of this galaxy. The last standard mission, Guppy and the Underground Lake, uses the same glitch setup from the previous mission, getting a total of 8 coins while out of bounds. There's a distinct difference between this mission and the others in Deep Dark though. This mission doesn't have access to the cannon. That means we can't get to the Gateway Ripoff planet, nor the Octoguy planet, and get the 70 coins there, right? Well, if you made it this far into the video, then you should know by now that when I phrase a question like that, it's because the answer is no, because there's a sneaky way to get around this limitation. This trick starts by climbing over the rock walls away from the shoreline. Climb this rock face through slope climbing, then position Mario so that he's facing the Octoguy planet. Get to the top of the rock wall, then do 2 consecutive jumps so that Mario performs a double jump. At the height of the double jump, do a spin, and if you got enough height and were close enough to the Octoguy planet, then the planet's massive gravity field will latch onto Mario and pull him in. That allows you to get 17 coins from the Octoguys. If you're playing solo, then this is as far as you go. But if you're playing Luigi and have Co-Star enabled, then you can reach the Gateway Ripoff planet. Get the Fire Flower, then perform a triple jump positioned around this spot here. At the apex of the jump, perform as many spins as possible so that Luigi throws fireballs. After the 3rd fireball, Luigi will have gained a small amount of height, which when paired with a Co-Star mid-air jump is just enough height to get to the Gateway Ripoff planet. After that, the additional 53 coins are super easy to get. Lastly, just like in Bubble Blast Off, you can get an extra 6 coins when using Co-Star due to the out of bounds trick in the ghost ship area, which will be explained during the Purple Comet mission. Ghost Ship Daredevil Run contains no coins like a normal Daredevil mission, so there's nothing to see here. Plunder the Purple Coins locks you into the ghost ship area of the level and only has 8 coins in it, all of which are pretty easy to collect. The main reason this mission is so interesting for the Max Coin Challenge is that the rest of the level is loaded during this mission, even if you can't normally access it. If you could leave this cave area, you could explore the rest of the level and get a bunch of extra coins, and as it turns out, there's not just 1, but 2 known ways of escaping this cave, though both methods require Co-Star. The first method is through the use of a glitch I haven't brought up yet, the shore launch. If Mario does a spin out of water, lands back in the water before the spin is finished, and clips into the shore, then the game will overreact to Mario's clip position and give him a ton of vertical speed to fix the clip. Sometimes this vertical speed lasts long enough to launch Mario very high in the air. A well-executed shore launch on this wooden platform can get Mario up to the wall of the cave, but to get out of balance, this height needs to be coupled with a mid-air Co-Star jump. If all of this is performed well enough, then Mario can gain enough height to bypass the wall's collision and fall out of bounds. There is also a variant of the shore launch called the Mega Shore Launch, which gives Mario nearly twice as much height, but it's very difficult to perform and very little is known about it. If the Mega Shore Launch is used, it may be possible for Mario to vault the cave wall without the use of Co-Star, but as of now it's just a hypothesis. The second method appears to be Luigi only, due to Luigi having better jumps than Mario. There's a ledge on the wall near the stern of the ship that can be accessed through a precise backflip. The coaster jump must be done at the apex of this backflip to reach this wall so that you can do a wall jump and a spin. Once you're on the sledge, do the exact same thing, but get as much height as possible so that you can vault over the wall. It's a close call, but it's definitely possible. Once you're out of bounds, it's time to explore the level in search of bonus coins. There are several coins just sitting out in the open, as well as plenty of coins from enemies that you normally can't access. That out of bounds crate is still there, so don't forget to grab that coin. If you explore the beach area of the level, you will find an out of place warp pipe. The pipe leads to the Blue in the Box star, so you can get 3 coins from the box and then leave from the pipe. Cool! You can also access the Octo Guy planet and the Gateway Ripoff planet using the same strategy discussed from Guppy and the Underground Lake for an additional 70 coins. The last thing of note is that the tunnel connecting to the ghost ship area from the rest of the level is blocked with rocks, so you can't use that tunnel normally. Luckily, we can just go out of bounds and hit the switch to open up this grate, allowing for the coins from these jellyfish and brick blocks to be much more easily collected than last time. And with that, we've gotten every coin. Oh. Huh. This jellyfish is still here. It still has a coin, but the only way to defeat it is with a shell, and the only shell in this level is on the other side of that rock wall. So I guess you can't defeat this jellyfish, right? Heh, wrong! It turns out that you can get the shell while still out of bounds, but unfortunately, you can't throw it at the jellyfish because it explodes on the wall instead. So you'll have to enter the ghost ship area again to fire the shell and get... Oh yeah, we need to do this twice! Anyway, all these strategies together increases the coin total for this mission while using CoStar to a whopping 99. Using either of the 2 out-of-bounds tricks while in Bubble Blast Off or Guppy on the Underground Lake allows you to go into the ghost ship area, collect the coins there, and then exit the area to continue with the main mission. In both of these missions, there are 2 coins from torches, 2 coins from crates from the ghost ship, 1 coin from defeating the giant jellyfish, and 1 more coin from defeating a small jellyfish from below the metal grate, meaning that 6 extra coins are possible when using CoStar for both of those missions. Lastly, Buoy in a Box is mildly interesting because it can be accessed during any of the standard missions, so you should pick the mission that has the most coins available before you have to go toward the box. Guppy in the Underground Lake doesn't work because it doesn't have access to the cannon. Comparing the other 2 missions reveals that the first one has more coins available on the main planet due to the uninhibited access of the ghost ship. Get the 105 coins in the first mission like normal, then go to the secret store to get 3 more coins within the box for a relatively simple mission. If CoStar is used, then you can get 106 coins from the main planet during Bubble Blast Off by escaping the ghost ship area with the previously discussed out-of-bounds tricks. Then you can go to the Boo Box and get the last 3 coins for a slightly improved score of 109. With Deep Dark fully glitched into oblivion, it's time to move on to the next galaxy, or more aptly, space station. Seriously, there are no planets here, it's just stuff connected to the Top Man station itself. Whatever, I guess. The Dreadnought Galaxy contains many missions that benefit from using CoStar mode considering there are a multitude of cannons present. Oh joy. The first mission, Infiltrating the Dreadnought, contains many coins that are easily missable simply because they are hidden well. The first spot is at the cannons inside the Dreadnought. If you pay close attention to how the cannons shoot, you'll notice that the bottom set fires slightly faster than the top set. Neither set fires fast enough to have all 3 coins possible, but both sets can give 2 coins per cannon for a total of 8 coins from this section. The last 4 coins require CoStar. Getting the second coin from the top 2 cannons is particularly tricky because the second cannonball does not spawn under normal conditions. To force this cannonball to spawn, you'll need to start out the first cannonball so that it stays active longer than usual. This can be done by stomping the cannonball just before it reaches the wall. The second cannonball will then spawn in the brief moment before the stomped cannonball falls to the floor and deactivates. You only have this one window of opportunity to shoot this new cannonball, so make it count. Next, there are several bouncy green top men that you need to climb this tower. However, in the haste to climb the tower, it's easy to forget that these are still top men that can give a coin if they are spun into an electric fence. After defeating the top man, it will respawn, but it can only give its coin once. Then near the top of the tower, off the right side towards the screen, a 10 coin block lies in wait. The timing for this block is the strictest of them all, but you can get all 10 coins. Finally, after flooding the last planet with water, a small Koopa boat floats to the water surface, revealing an alcove that has a single coin stored inside. Most of the challenge in this mission is simply knowing where all the coins are. The second mission, Dreadnought's Colossal Can... Okay, no. Just no. We've already experienced the horrors of Battlerock, Sling Pods, and Bowser Jr.'s cannons. You don't have to do this game, please! Please! This mission is like a sick hybrid of Battlerock Barrage in a very sticky situation. There are a ton of cannons for us to get coins from, and nearly all cannonballs never pass above solid ground. The only advantage that this mission has over Battlerock Barrage is that slope climbing is not needed at all, but that's where the positives end. Remember lingering hitboxes from Bowser Jr.'s Airship Armada? Well, they still exist, and can appear with moderate frequency in this mission. The only bonus here is that if you're lucky, getting hit with a cannonball might not lead to a restart. The big new challenges that this mission introduces are moving platforms and collecting coins while upside down. These moving platforms move slowly, but still too fast to get every coin from a single cannon in one go. Therefore, you'll have to wait on the stationary platforms until the moving platform respawns at the start. In several cases, you'll need to make a leap of faith onto the unseen platform so that you have enough time to shoot the appropriate cannonball and collect its coin. Thankfully, you can time how long you need to wait before jumping. Once the platform goes off screen, jump in place as high as possible but don't spin. After doing 7 of these jumps, long jump to where the platform originated from and you'll have stalled just enough to reach it in time. There's also some upside down sections that make it very easy to confuse the controls. After repeating these general strategies for a while, you'll reach the vertical section of this mission, and this is the only section that doesn't have a respawning moving platform. You'll have to make very precise jumps to reach the cannonballs shot by this cannon while still being able to make it back to the stationary platform. Once this platform makes it to the top, another problem arises. Any coins that appear from these cannonballs act very strangely as they are being influenced by 2 gravitational fields. Additionally, the instant Mario jumps off the vertical platform, gravity will take him toward the top platform with no way to revert this. Therefore, once Mario jumps, he's locked into moving forward. You'll need to backtrack to the vertical moving platform by long jumping toward it, then climbing it by spinning. You'll end up standing on the side of the platform. Gravity behaves strangely up here, so you'll need to be very careful. Walk to the top right section, then shoot the cannonballs as they line up with the middle screw. If you hit the cannonball, be ready to have Mario jump to collect the coin. This causes the gravity to change, but as long as you hold right, you shouldn't fall off. Once you get these 3 coins, you can easily fall down to resume the level. Most of the remaining cannonballs pass above solid ground, thankfully, but there's 2 cannons of note. If you shoot cannonballs that have been shot from these cannons, then these coins will appear to fall upwards instead of toward Mario. To prevent this, you can only shoot the cannonball when it's lined up with the upside down moving platform. This blocks the coin's trajectory and forces the coin to fall down instead, allowing Mario to easily collect it. One last note, while you're waiting for the moving platform to reappear in this final section, have Mario duck or jump occasionally. If you don't, he'll start going to sleep as part of his idle animation. His idle animation changes the position of his hitbox and could get him hit with a cannonball that you weren't expecting. Please don't let this happen to you. You'll need quite a few star bits to shoot all these cannonballs, but there's enough at the start of the mission to not require star bit farming, thankfully. You may want to practice shooting the cannonballs on the purple coin variant of this mission due to its simpler nature. Persevere through and you'll have collected an astounding 83 coins. Revenge of the Top Man Tribe is leagues easier than a previous mission for max coins. Don't forget to go through the warp pipe on the other side of the starting saucer to get some extra coins from the coin lamps. There are also more cannons here, but they are all in a pull star section and the coins can be easily collected. However, while only in single player, the first cannon just gives 1 coin and the other 4 cannons give 2 coins each for a total of 9 coins. Co-star is required to get the remaining 6 coins. The rest of the mission is smooth sailing. Top Man Tribe speedrun is nearly identical to the original mission with a few exceptions. While the cannon section remains entirely the same, meaning that 6 coins are not possible while playing solo, the warp pipe on the first planet is nowhere to be found, resulting in a 6-coin deficit. However, since there isn't a Luma shop on Top Maniac's ship, 2 Top Men take its place, giving an extra 2 coins that weren't in the standard mission. Overall, this results in a net loss of 4 coins compared to the original, with hardly any change to the challenge's difficulty. Battle Station's purple coins is basically the training ground for Dreadnought's colossal cannons. The only gold coins that can be collected here are from the cannons. All of the strategies previously discussed apply here as well, with the only difference being that every cannon fires slower, so each cannon only gives 2 coins without the use of Co-Star. If Co-Star was used, then the max coin count here would be 63 coins instead. The last mission in the Dreadnought, thankfully, is incredibly easy, as long as you aren't using Co-Star mode. Dreadnought's garbage jump has a mere 6 coins to collect with all of them coming from the coin lamps. However, it's possible to use the Sling Star on the saucer, get 5 points from that planet, then return to the saucer using a specific co-star only jump. Position Mario above this Luma, do a backflip, bounce to the Luma once, spin, land on the Luma again while moving upwards, then do a homing ground pound and hold down. Do not hold the jump button. Mario will do a large bounce off the Luma. Before Mario reaches the Sling Star, you need to do a mid-air co-star jump. This can only be done if a homing ground pound is done at the exact same time that the co-star player has Mario perform a jump. If everything is done correctly, then you'll gain enough height to be caught by the saucer's gravity, upon which you can go to the garbage dump and complete the mission like normal. Ultimately, this technique allows for 5 additional coins to be collected. And with that, we finally completed the last of the huge obstacles in the Max Coin Challenge. There's still some interesting situations left to cover, but the actively ridiculous ones are finally finished. With that said, up next is Matter Splatter Galaxy. This galaxy features one of the more difficult missions while playing casually, and that difficulty is maintained in the Max Coin Challenge. The coins in this level are either floating normally, or come from defeating Magic Koopas. Due to the dynamic nature of the ground disappearing and appearing, getting the coin from these Magic Koopas can be a bit of a waiting game. The most difficult coin to get is the very last one. Literally just before the star, there's a Magic Koopa that appears just above the abyss. You only have one shot to jump on it, grab the coin, and make it back to safety before the road completely disappears. Jump straight out to the Magic Koopa, get the coin, then spin to make it back. Be prepared to wall jump if needed. This method is necessary because it has Mario facing away from the road after getting the coin, and since Mario's movement speed is faster in the opposite direction than he is facing, it ends up being sufficient to make it back. It is a close save though. At last, we made it to the final primary galaxy of the game, Melty Molten. In the scope of the Max Coin Challenge, this one is surprisingly one of the easier galaxies in the game. The sinking lava spire has literally no abnormal coins at all, just good old-fashioned coin collecting. The little cinders on the lava spire should be defeated quickly so that the lava doesn't catch up to you, but that's it. Through the meteor storm is slightly more involved. There are a few lava bubbles that appear on the second planet. The second lava bubble bounces into a lava pit after 2 seconds, upon which it gets stuck there. You'll have to shoot this lava bubble in the first seconds of its existence to prevent the coins from falling into lava. On the next planet there are several little cinders to defeat, but otherwise nothing special. The ball rolling section is where most of the coins are, but even then they're all in plain sight. Easy! Fiery Dino Piranha is just like the first mission, in that none of the coins are particularly hard to get. The hardest part is probably defeating Dino Piranha. The final Daredevil mission in the game, Lava Spire Daredevil Run, once again features no coins, as to be expected. Red Hot Purple Coins only has 4 gold coins present on the planet, with no trickery to be seen other than that one of the coins is in a brick block. And lastly, Burning Tide is probably the most difficult Max Coin challenge in this galaxy, as there are 3 lava bubbles you need to shoot at on the Hungry Luma planet. You also need to make sure to get the 3 coins on the Pole Star section before going to the Hungry Luma planet. Even then, this mission is still somewhat short, so a retry shouldn't take too long. With Melty Molten completed, the only galaxy left in the garden is Snowcap via the Hungry Luma outside. The Max Coin challenge here is a joke. The first coin is on the starting planet, and the other 9 coins are all inside snow sculptures that you can melt with the fire flower. Catch all the bunnies first, then take your time watching the galaxy burn to get all 10 coins. That's it! We've finished every mission in all the domes. The only thing left for us to do before we have the final showdown with Bowser is to prove to the universe that we are indeed capable of such a feat via the Trial Galaxies. Let's look at Rolling Gizmo Galaxy first. While this galaxy has the second largest total coin count at 123, all of the coins are strewn about the level in easy to reach places. This challenge is very similar to the one in Rolling Green Galaxy, but with the added difficulty of there being more obstacles there. Otherwise though, there's nothing else to mention. The Loopdeeloop Galaxy only contains 22 coins, and all 22 of these coins are on the race course. However, several of these coins are in a line in the air immediately after a large vertical drop. If you miss these coins, then you'll have to backtrack to the top of the drop to try again. This can be done, but you have to accelerate very slowly while making your way up the race course, or else the manta ray will pop up on the other side of the water and you'll fall to your doom. This one could take a few tries, but is otherwise unnoteworthy. Lastly, we have Bubble Blast Galaxy's Electric Labyrinth. In similar fashion to Bubble Breeze Galaxy, this galaxy's 105 coins are spread throughout the level and require a steady and patient mind to get them all. Most of the coins are on the first half of the level. There's no rush for most of the level except for the very last section that has multiple bullet bill launchers aimed at you alongside lots of coins. These coins are in a straight line though, so don't panic and you'll do fine. It's finally time. We've come so far and overcome so many challenges and obstacles, and now the final mission is here. Defeat Bowser while lining our pockets with as many coins as possible. Bowser's Galaxy Reactor has 48 coins stashed away. Most of these coins aren't found until the lava tube at the end of the level. Plenty of Bowser statues must be destroyed with bullet bills for them to release their coin. There are also a few sneakily hidden coins on the opposite side of the lava tube at these rotating platforms. If you have 28 coins once you reach this launch star, then you're set for the final bout with King Bowser. There's tons of coins to get in this fight, all across 3 separate planets. Some are trapped in ice, some can be found in coin lamps, and the rest are stuck inside spiky plants. You'll need Bowser's help to get the coins in the spiky plants on the first planet. Pay close attention to the audio of this part, as Bowser may destroy a spiky plant that you can't see and have the coin spawn prematurely. If you're listening, then you'll hear the coin jingle and know to look for an extra coin. Once you have 37 coins, you're ready to move on to the second planet. This planet has spiky plants as well, but you can destroy them yourself using the bulb plants. Bowser can still destroy the spiky plants when he's rolling around in his shell though, so keep paying attention to the audio. Once you have 45 coins, you'll be able to go to the last planet. And there's only 3 coins here, all of which are trapped in ice. Nab these coins and then sucker spin Bowser off the planet to collect the final Grand Star with all 48 coins! And that's it. The game is complete. With 120 stars collected, Luigi is unlocked. Using Luigi for the Max Coin Challenge provides different pros and cons. Any trick that requires really good jumps from Mario is easier with Luigi, such as glitching into the manor in Ghostly Galaxy. On the other hand, any trick that requires precise footwork is difficult, such as Bowser Jr.'s Airship Armada. The only definitive differences between playing as Mario and Luigi are the Cosmic Comet missions, and Cosmic Luigi is way faster than Cosmic Mario, giving Luigi less time to collect extra coins. Luigi can match Mario's coin scores in every mission besides the Honeyhive race. Cosmic Luigi is too fast for Luigi to get the coin on top of the main planet, so Luigi can only get 7 coins instead of 8. After getting all 120 stars with Luigi, you unlock the final level of the game, the Grand Finale Galaxy. This is the actual final mission of the game, and yes, it has coins just like normal. It has 10. The most interesting thing about this mission is that a majority of these coins are hidden, as if this is a treasure hunt. You can find all 10 coins by simply exploring the level. And since that's the charm of this level's Max Coin Challenge, I won't spoil where all 10 coin locations are. You'll have to find them yourself. Once you find all 10 coins and the 100 purple coins, you can collect the final star of the game, bringing an end to the Max Coin Challenge once and for all. And what a ride it's been. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I was not at all expecting this video to take this long, but it turns out there was far more nuance to this challenge than I was anticipating. There were so many difficulties that appeared in many unexpected places, but I think we can all agree that cannons are the absolute worst. If you add up all the coins obtained in all 121 missions, you get a grand total of 4,444 coins without co-star, and 4,710 coins with co-star. You have no idea how happy I was to see that the total coin counts look as nice as they do. Which mission do you think looks the hardest? Or if you tried the Max Coin Challenge, which mission did you think was the most fun? Let me know in the comments. Also, there are several other people involved in the production of this video that I would like to give credit to. I'd like to thank Preon for discovering the out of bounds trick in Pterodactyl's Tangled Web and to suggesting the one in Sandbake Sandcastle. Altar of Delirium for posting videos on how to collect the Cannonball coins in Battlerock Galaxy and how to access the glitchy mansion in Ghostly Galaxy. The Ruby Moon for assisting development on the technique on how to go backwards in Cannon Alley in Sling Pod Galaxy. Mario and Traffic Light Fan for demonstrating Co-Star's use in Toy Time Galaxy and Freezeflame Galaxy. Purple Sun for assisting the development of Out of Bounds Trick in Sandbake Sandcastle. Nate for posting a video about how to collect all the Out of Bounds coins in Deep Dark Galaxy. Username is Password for general information on shore launches and its use in Deep Dark Galaxy. Cosmoing for the Mega Shore Launch demonstration. And V-Games for assisting with the Co-Star jump in Dreadnought's Garbage Dump. The biggest contributors to this project were Dandonodon and Nathaniel Smith. Dandonodon has been at the forefront of many new coin improvement discoveries, such as assisting with routing the 8 coins in Honeyhive Cosmic Mario Race, getting the second Boo coin in Matter Splatter Mansion, escaping the Poke Planet in Buoy Base, providing task footage for Bowser Jr.'s Airship Armada, getting the third coin in the Spiky Planet in Jerry Trick and Major Burrows, finding a way to escape the sauces in Gusty Garden's Gravity Scramble, discovering the Octoguy Planet Axis Glitch in Deep Dark Galaxy, and many more. In fact, he still has more ideas for improvements, so you can expect an addendum video to his challenge at some later date. But the real contributor here was Nathaniel Smith. He was the real MVP here. I'm honestly just a showman compared to Nate. He recorded 98% of the footage, wrote and rewrote the entire script, acted as quality assurance, and was the one who did all the real work, discovering tricks, performing skips, and gathering all the footage. Without him and all his contributions to the Mario Galaxy Max Coin Challenge and to the production, this video would have never existed. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all for watching. My name is Golden, and I'll see you all next time. Oh my gosh, it's finally over.
Woo!
This took like 6 or 7 months to make. It took so long because mostly when I just there was like a set list of things to do, like a script. I went through the whole thing, and then it turns out that as that was going on, as more time passed, there would be more and more discoveries made.
Mm-hmm.
And that would make stars that I done obsolete, so I had to redo them.
I think it might have been us doing research into the Max Coin Challenge ended up garnering some attention from other people. So while you were doing the videos, I was getting notifications from people saying hey, I just found this coin thing, and then be like, oh, okay, I guess the script is wrong. I guess we gotta redo it. Oops.
Yeah. I remember that in November, I was planning on trying to get this done by November because Persona 5 Royal was coming out for Switch, and there was 1 star left, Dreadnought 2, and then you post 6 new updates for stars, and I was just like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
We had to take a break after that because I was just like, I'm not gonna finish it by then.
Mm-hmm. I think it's good that we took a break, honestly. However, now that the main bulk of the video is finished, and we've already kind of said that we're planning on doing an addendum video, I'd like to ask the viewer, as in you, the person listening to this, if you happen to come up with any ideas for getting more coins, or maybe you've already proved how you can get more coins, let either of us know. Because, well, one, just so that way we can keep track of what the actual max coin count is for these games. But also, so that in that addendum video, then we can have a huge compilation of all of the people that have contributed to this max coin challenge, which I think will be pretty cool.
Yeah. So,
Actually, that kind of reminds me of how I ended up starting this challenge in the first place. So when I got Super Mario 3D All-Stars back when it first released, I'd already played all 3 games, so I wasn't playing them for the first time. So I decided, let's challenge myself. How about I try and get every coin possible, not knowing how arduous that process would be. I think the first time that you saw the challenge was when I was streaming my attempts at Sling Pod Galaxy, when I thought the max was 24 coins, not 31. And you were one of the people that actually got me to realize that 31 coins was the max, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I
I discovered that you can go backwards doing some Sling Pod doing some Sling Star things, Pull Star, whatever, Star, whatever stars.
To my,
And
at
you
the
could, like,
time,
bounce on
existential
cannonballs.
crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of freaking out a little bit.
Yeah. And that was a big thing, and I was just like, man, that's like a lot of stuff to do.
It was.
I remember that too.
I'm glad it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, we I think I remember you asking me to, like, hey, I could like turn this whole challenge idea into a full length video and whatnot. And, you know,
which
like,
I'm very thankful for. My editing skills are very poor, so I'm glad you were willing to do this with me.
And my writing skills are poor, so I'm glad that you were able to be here to like.
Yeah, it was a great collaboration. Like, we both were able to, like, help each other with the completion of this project. It was great.
Yeah.
So in terms of projects, what other stuff do you have planned?
I'm planning on doing a Nintendo Switch Sports. I think I sent you the script one time.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Derp.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's pretty much what I'm working on. It's probably going to be it's definitely going to be a shorter video than this one.
Yeah, for sure. The only stuff I'm planning on doing is I've got a Mario Party 7 thing that I've been doing with one of my friends, and we're planning on posting that at some point. Don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm very excited for that. But otherwise, that's basically all I got.
So if that's everything, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I also have a second channel. I also have a second channel in the description if you want to check that out. And I'll see you all next time.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.